morning and welcome to Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Time check right now is 7:41 a.m. It's time for us to look through the major trending stories on the front pages of our dailies. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of November, 2024. The day after, or the morning after, however it is that you want to put it. I don't know how I feel this morning, but I feel a type of way. And I'm just going to leave it at that because it concerns me and at the same time it doesn't concern me. But then, through it all, hope we survive it. We survived the first, we survived the first tranche. We should hopefully be able to survive the second one, and whatever it is that's going on in America. So help us God. I don't know, I'm very, very, very anxious this morning, but of course we will just quickly take a swipe at what has conspired in the United States of America. Votes are pouring in. And of course, the major deciding vote, the major deciding, state, the major deciding swing state, Pennsylvania, the result is out and it has put everyone on the edge. And it's just whatever is going on, as if what is going on, number 47. Well, let's see what we have very, very quickly as regards the United States elections. My name is Omobola Sandra. I have Fuad Sahid with me via the phone line. We kickstarted the United States conversation about 2-3 months ago with the stepping down of Joe Biden as the Democratic candidate in America, with the emergence of Kamala Harris as the Democratic candidate in America, and it has been, a neck-to-neck, battle between Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, and Vice President Kamala Harris, and it has finally come to a climax some minutes or some hours or so ago. So we'll just quickly take a look at that before we go into the major stories, in the country, that's in Nigeria at this time. Of course, there's a lot to talk about, from the oil conversation to local government conversation, to the judiciary and all. But let's just quickly take a look at what is going on in the United States. Good morning, Fuad. How are you doing?
Good morning, Sandra. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm just there. I thought it was going to be one for the women, We'll just come out and be like, yes, today is Woman Crush Wednesday, and for the first time in American history, we have a Madam President. But I'm
it's not Sandra is not going to happen.
I know. Pennsylvania has gone red, so it's and that's
not only Pennsylvania,
Iowa,
swing states as we have it. Nothing. Yes, Iowa has gone Donald Trump. North Carolina, one of the swing states, also red. Georgia also has gone red. Pennsylvania has gone red.
It's 51%. It was
the fact is this. Trump is going to be the next president of the United States of America. Let's just establish that. It's going to be number 47. And you can see that even the Harris campaign have told their supporters to go home for now. It's night there in the United States. She won't be addressing that crowd, which was supposed to be the victory party speech, so but she's going to address them tomorrow morning. That's United States time.
Oh no!
And if you look at the Trump side, it's looking all good. The numbers are increasing. More people are converging there. Obviously, to listen to the victory speech, which would happen, I think, later on in the day as it's going. The projections are clear, Sandra. I have to wake up all night. I stayed up all night. Trying to look at what was going to happen. Of course, the national grid collapsed again. It 10th collapse in 2024 in the year. But I had to do what I needed to do, so I had to buy this very expensive fuel to run my generator all night, just get first-hand information on what's happening in the United States. And I was telling you, I think it was even what I was telling this morning. That look, usually you look at the faces of people on CNN. You look at that. There's so many people in the studio.
Oh,
they keep this long face, looking very sad. I think they brought them into the studio. You already know.
Just know
it happened in the numbers about.
It has touched them. And because they can feel it, they can see it, you know.
They can no. Look, the reality is that the projections are clear. And immediately, you know, because again, the battle is always the focus on the swing states. Forget every other thing. There are some states that will always go blue. There are states that will always go red. But the focus was on the swing states. And, you know, they do a county by county analysis as the votes are coming in. You know, the votes that are coming in as they are being. So, immediately we saw that, look, North Carolina had gone red. Georgia was projected to go red. And then Pennsylvania. And the fact that, look, for every other swing state, Trump was having a very strong showing. In fact, a better showing than when he lost the election 4 years ago. I knew there was trouble. If you understand what I'm saying. So, in fact, the projection now, according to the New York Times, is that he might even be crossing the 270 mark. He might be getting over 300 electoral college votes, as it is. But there's going to be a little bit of balance in American politics. Yes, there will be. The projection is that the Republicans will take over the Senate, while the Democrats will flip the House of Reps. So that's always a bit of balance, really, if you understand how American politics work. But as it is, I think Kamala has had a good fight. She's done what she needs to do.
A very good fight.
Yes, a very, very good fight. A decent fight, actually. A very decent fight. She had a very, very decent fight. She stayed to script. She knew what she was saying. I guess the problem was that I think she also came into the battle a bit late.
Yes.
And I felt that Biden held on for too long. That should not have been on the
If he had stepped aside a little bit earlier,
maybe there would have been a better strategy.
They would have had time to put things. Because I think they had about 4 months or so, or 5 months or so.
Most of the voters kept complaining about not really knowing her. She didn't have enough time to sell herself. And then whether you like it or not, you know, it's always a referendum on the incumbent government. An election like this. So whatever happened to her too was kind of referendum.
But can you really say it's a referendum? She was a vice president. Not
it does not matter. It's still a government. It's a government run by the Democrats. And she's a vice president. So whatever people perceived as a failure of Joe Biden was going to rub off negatively on her. You know, although she tried during the campaign to distance herself a bit from the Biden policy, but look, it's a party. She's a member of the party, not just another member. She's a vice president. So there was no way she would have easily distanced herself completely from what was perceived as a failure of the Biden administration. There are 3 key issues, Sandra. The first one was the fact that, look, Trump was able to convince a lot of Americans that on immigration, the Democrats were not serious. You know, at some point, he had to mention that even Kamala had not visited any of the borders. So, knew what was going on there. So on the issue of immigration, the fear-mongering, that Trump was able to use, I think won the hearts of a lot of Americans. You know, he was able to put that fear in their mind. They are coming. These guys are coming to take your job. They are coming in. These guys are not serious. The borders are empty. The borders are open for us. No clear immigration policy. And I think that while Trump was doing all of that, Kamala Harris was not also able to counter that impression, that perception that Trump was selling. There was no clear policy from the Kamala campaign on what she was going to do about illegal migration. You know, so that's also a major problem. Then the economy, the inflation, you know, cost of prescription drugs, cost of goods. Well, there's also that problem. Maybe the rate of inflation. I think on the economy, too, a lot of Americans feel that Biden did not do enough. And then foreign policy, Sandra, foreign policy. The wars in Gaza, the Russia-Ukraine war. Look, it got a lot of people pissed, really, about the international politics and strategy of the Biden administration. The fact that, look, a lot of Americans will say that, look, when Trump was there, we didn't have this chaos globally. You understand? He was able, whatever he did, even if he didn't do anything, I think as president, Russia never invaded any country. In fact, they will say that, look, the administration of Crimea was under Obama. But when Trump was there, Putin behaved himself. How he was able to do that, nobody knows. And then there was a relative peace, too, quote and unquote, in the Middle East, you know, under Trump. So people are saying that, look, we need to ask ourselves, forget the rhetoric. Look at what happened happened in this administration compared with the 4 years of Joe Biden when it comes to international politics. And it felt like, look, Trump had a better strategy because there was, relatively, well, more relatively peaceful world, under Donald Trump. So cumulatively, I think those were the factors, those were the issues really. And the result is here, whether anybody likes it or not. From what we have, from the projections, Donald Trump has won that election.
So.
No, you know. I go for some people who think that,
Did you see the videos of those that were campaigning for Donald Trump in the north?
I don't, they
were shared too.
They don't know what they are doing. No,
they were shared.
Most likely the same people that carry, people do all manner of things. And I think it's also a factor of our level of education and exposure. If you talk to an average Nigerian now about the Israeli-Gaza war, half of the analysis will come from sentiments and bias that people don't even have a background and a good knowledge of. You understand what I'm saying? So there are people that will even think it's a religious thing. The average person thinks whatever is happening between Israel and Gaza is a religious thing. Whereas the Israelis they don't even believe in what most of the Nigerians who are supporting them believe. You understand what I'm saying? They don't even believe in their prophet. They don't even believe in the religion that a lot of Nigerians think Israelis believe in. So you see that when it comes to things like this, people don't have that good understanding, a good grasp of some of these issues. So you see them coming with bias, coming with all manner of sentiments that are not really related to the issue. So for Donald Trump, I don't know why any Nigerian, for example, any person of color would want to support Donald Trump. His rhetoric about people of color, about black Africans or black Americans, it has never changed. Some of that called African countries a shit-hole country.
It's okay.
So and I'm like, what you think this guy has that is connected to whatever you believe in? Although the good part of whatever Donald Trump is doing to Africans or people of color is that, look, he's really telling you, go and take care of yourself. Go back home and take care of your country and rebuild your country. And that's a strong message to our own leaders who have put us in that very ridiculous situation. If our countries are okay, why would anybody be just fine going through a matter of things to the United States? Although it's a country of immigrants, but the reality is that, look, a lot of our leaders need to understand that, look, we need to come back home and take care of ourselves. Fix our own problems. Back home.
Oh, it's all right. Thank you very much, Fuad. Said, appreciate your, outlook or your submission as regards the U.S. election. We just have to quickly take a swipe at that, and projections are heavy on the Republican side. So, as it is now, further conversations, of course, by Midweek Politics by 1 p.m. today and 6 p.m. on Sunday on Political Roundtable. Yes?
But Sağ will be back. At least it will be people have him to help us dissect what really happened. He's in the US now, so I'm sure he will have a lot to say really about what happened.
But through it all, I just want Kamala Harris to know and understand, for someone who came in just 5 months or how many months into the election, into the race, she was able to actually pull some weight. I think that should suffice.
Maybe Americans are not really ready for a female president. That's
there we go.
Another side of the conversation.
There we go again. It's okay. It's all right.
Someone was telling me yesterday that Biden was able to defeat Trump 4 years ago because one is white and two is a man. So it's man to man, white to white. Someone told me that. I'm like, I couldn't even fall to that argument, that position. But again, it is what it is. Maybe one day, just like Americans broke the genes of a black man ruling that nation, they will also break the genes of a woman and becoming, the president of the most powerful nation in the world. Maybe one day it will happen. Maybe in our lifetime we'll see it happen.
I don't know about yours, but maybe mine, because But then it's okay.
What's the difference? Yeah, are we not of the same generation?
No, please. All right, that's trends in the papers on Milan 98.3 FM. It's a major story on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Page 7 has further details. Eyes on swing states as Harris and Trump battle for U.S. presidency. As of some few hours ago, that we still have some. Trump was pushing about 240 thereabouts with
he's done, but not dusted. I mean, you like English.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
What can happen? What?
No, well, it's okay. It's okay. You know,
everything that can happen is that the heavens will not fall.
It's not.
And that Trump is the next president of the U.S.
It's alright.
That's the only thing that can happen. I'm telling you.
It's okay. That's well, the major headline on the front.
Difficult to take, right?
Well, it's okay. Well, we are live on Facebook and YouTube at Milan 98.3 FM, so you can carry on the conversation there as well. And this is Milan 98.3 FM. It's trends in the papers. It's a paper review show. We're looking through the stories, major stories on the front pages of The Guardian, The Punch, and Vanguard newspaper. The major headline on the front page of The Punch: nationwide blackout as grid collapses or suffers a 10th collapse in 2024. There's a writer here that says generation drops to 0 megawatts. 22 gencos affected nationwide. Partial power in southwest. You know, Fuad, when we posted, breaking news, national grid has collapsed. Someone very, very in a vexed soul, very very vexed person just posted and said, Mainland FM, please, this is not breaking news. This is a regular occurrence, and I just had to laugh. But anyways, the story is on page 2.
Some of them we can't bring or read.
No.
Someone was even saying that the Equatorial Guinea man is even stronger than National Grid.
I don't think the Equatorial Guinea man is going to. I don't think his story will go off anytime soon because
for them to be saying that National Grid is not as strong as that man, it's not ridiculous.
The man is 400 videos, and we are struggling with 0 megawatts. What do you think?
400 megawatts.
He's pushing 400 megawatts. We are pushing 0 megawatts. What will you say about it? Anyways, Nigerians have been plunged into darkness again. But thankfully, there's no minister to tell us that it was just a trip off, as you know. So what
you still around? Maybe you still check it. Remember, this one is a slip off, not a trip off.
Anyways, so what we have is that the point is, since January 2024 till date, the grid has collapsed 10 times. And within 1 week, within 1 week in October, I remember very, very clearly, within 1 week in October, less than 48 hours, it collapsed 3 times in October.
3 times, yeah.
Yes, sparking a lot of reactions, and now it was confirmed that the grid lost power generation yesterday at about 1:50 p.m. and up
to now, I don't think it has been restored.
Well, partial restoration in different parts of the country, actually, as at the time of this report. Yes, partial restoration. Ogun, Osun, Kwara, partial power supply. They're also working with partners as regards, to ensure that it goes to Oyo, Ibadan and Co. But what we have now is that there's partial restoration in different parts. TCN, that's the transmission company, confirmed this development, and they have said, the spokesperson, Ndidi Mba, has said, and I quote, this followed a series of lines and generators trippings that caused instability of the grid and consequently the partial disturbance of the system. So it was revealed that a part of the grid was not affected by the bulk power disruption. TCN engineers are already working to quickly restore to states affected. Presently, bulk power supply has been restored to Abuja. I think that was the first port of call. And we're gradually restoring to other parts of the country. They apologize sincerely for the inconvenience, of course.
After this one, when will the next one happen?
Wait, so those the people in the north that they just give them like just 2 seconds.
Whether this one affects them, it depends. It will affect them, but
because Damaturu in Yobe experienced widespread power outage.
Yeah. So restoration was done.
Gombe as well.
Many days ago. So now they are back to darkness.
Plateau State as well. Bauchi.
It's
Benway, the disco, as well as the. You have to know. That's
I saw there was something like that.
Outage today affecting supply within our network. Restoration of supply is ongoing in collaboration with our critical stakeholders. Kindly bear with us.
What's the English about?
That's
Grid has collapsed. One line. Sorry.
No. They have
The grid has collapsed.
They have to be formal. They have to be formal. They have to be formal. How will you know they have a spokesperson? It's very important for the person.
Who can speak English and write good English?
It's very important. Anyways, point is Fuad grid has collapsed. I don't know what the way forward is. For something needs to be done. Of course, it's just.
Well, I think a lot of experts have said that. Look, although there are also people who have said that. Look, there are countries that are on a singular grid. You know, because again, every suggestion seems to point to the fact that we need to unbundle the grid. Maybe have regional grids, have smaller grids, so that we don't lump everything together. And then when there's a collapse, it affects everybody. But there are also people who say that, look, there are bigger countries, far bigger countries, who are on a central grid. But again, we need to check this collapse. What exactly are the reasons why we're having this collapse? The last one affected the north. It was said that vandals, right? With transmission lines. So, but I think for every time the grid collapses, we concentrate more on the information of the collapse of the grid, rather than also looking at what could have led to the collapse and how can we, at least in the meantime that nobody has been able to come up with a strategy to unbundle the grid. How do we ensure that it doesn't continue to repeat itself? People have talked about internal sabotage. How do we deal with that? External sabotage, how do we deal with that? And then the level of investment we need to do again with our transmission line. Because what is being said, I think the minister also said something similar. That look, a lot of the facilities we have with the transmission end of the power value chain are obsolete. Old, big power transformers and all of that need a lot of investment and replacement. So, but again, it would have to be the commitment of the government to fixing this problem. Because we can't continue to wake up every day to get the announcement that the grid has collapsed. It's only for a country that has to push a $1 trillion economy. And then power is like this. Are we not joking? You want to push a $1 trillion economy, and then you have a grid that is epileptic. Even our people is not as well as the grid we have. So it is just what it is. And whether we like it or not, we have to find solutions to this problem. How? I don't know.
All right. Thank you very much, Saifad. I appreciate that. Further details rather, on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Partial restoration already across different parts of the country. Moving on, we also have here stakeholders hail reversal of 18 years policy for varsity admissions. Fuad, I think that's there was public outrage on that one.
So go with his old obsolete idea.
It took it with him.
Let's go with it. The man is still living in the Stone Ages. Unfortunately, a professor. That's just the sad part of the whole story. I think the new man understands that look, things are moving very fast. Our children today are born with technology in their hands. Sandra. When you are born, as you are giving birth to them, they receive technology. They call, in the womb, some of them are already operating smartphones from the womb. Right. When you come, the learning process is faster. You understand? It's faster than in those days that you have to be 6 years. You will put your hand across your head, cover your activity before you go to school. Look at some of the youngsters, what they are able to do. So I think, the man was not just fit for the job. Let's see what Mr. Alausa will do.
All right.
The new minister.
Thank you very much. The further details of that on page 22. Very, very quickly, Fuad, I don't know if you saw the video of what transpired between LASTMA officials and, these commercial bus drivers in Mile 2 area yesterday.
Who is going to burn people? I've been seeing the video, but...
He sprayed his vehicle with petrol.
The bus driver.
Yes, that's that. Well, according to reports, that he doused, the vehicle and
himself.
Yes,
and himself. Right? He was going to kill himself too. Did you see the video?
But nothing happened to him.
But he was lucky to really take off his clothes.
He took it.
But he was also on. And the last man guy took to their use.
So a last man official was actually, he actually was caught in the crossfire. A last man official was caught in it.
I'm sure Victor would reach out to the spokesperson of last.
They have already reached out to us. Say they have. They have already reached out to us. They have something to say. So
to say about that, yeah.
Maybe we'll just take a few minutes on midweek policy. Just quickly listen to what they have to say.
Listen to what they have. We'll put a call through to the spokesperson of last. Don't worry, we have.
Exactly.
And I hope it's not going to be a one-sided conversation. But let's also let's even first get to their own side of the story.
Exactly.
Because it came very strange, and I know with social media people can come up with different directions.
Anything can happen.
People were not there will write as if they were there. And this is what happened. I have seen all manner of stories on that singular video. So we'll try and reach out to the last man on movie politics.
Because even the video, you can't really say what exactly transpired, because there's just what was going on. Although yes, it was a people journalist.
And it was a very short video.
Very short video. So you can't really say what also happened. Yeah, but the point is that people got fire came from nowhere and people got burnt.
And then people scampered
for safety. And then last month officials drove. They sped away. They didn't drive away. They sped away because the way they all ran to their vehicle and ran away was kind of comical at that point. But then further details on pages 4 and 5 as regards what happened. Adebayo Taufik, that's the spokesperson for LASMA, has something to say in the papers there. So we'll definitely in the course of the day we'll see how we can also get him in the studio to clarify certain issues. This happened at around Sele area. Further details on pages 4 and 5. Moving on, we also have here. So Egobanga Balatasa Bogobanga, whatever that man's name is, a lot of bangers. Equatorial Guinea is now installing CCTV in all their offices. As they have suspended quite a number of officials on this particular issue. How did those tapes get out? I don't want to know whatever it is that it should never ever have seen the light of day. But further details of that on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. I think we've talked a whole lot. Too much. Nigerians have been too excited about this particular issue.
The US election will take attention off that video temporarily, or move us to other discussions. I think so. Because on social media, it's really a dominant issue. Really.
I strongly doubt that.
Trump's victory and Canada's loss will not take people's attention away.
A lot of people probably be too sad and they want to take their mind off of it, and then they go back to Egubanga's
I'm going to be feasting on that
on Egubanga's story. Yes.
No. I'm sure that the answer is serious. We'll move on. It's more serious.
I like your outlook on life, Fuad. I really like. I admire it. It's a good one. Please keep it up.
We have people feast on that.
On Egobanga. There's nothing to do, Fuad. It's over. It's 400 videos. We can't exhaust it in 2 days. Noso has so much more videos to share.
I think people should get serious with their life and leave that man alone. People of Equatorial Guinea will sort themselves out. Whatever comes with what has been revealed.
But the people of Equatorial Guinea are now, they are viral, they are trending, so I think they should make the most of it, whatever it is that they can.
I think Mr. Cartoon had discussed extensively how troubling that situation is really for married women. I was trying to listen to what he was trying to say about it. I'm sure that more conversations will come from our family and marriage relationship experts on things like this. I'm sure there's going to
because a lot of these women were married. I think about 90% of them were married.
Of them were actually married women.
It says a lot about the dysfunctionality of the family
and marriages.
Yes. Well, Egobanga's story continues. Deregulation, not license to blend low quality products, says Dangote, and that story is on page 33 of the Punch newspaper. This is Mainland 98.3 FM and you're listening to Trends in the Papers, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, so you can drop your submission even as the show progresses. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has informed Pinnacle Oil and Gas Limited and other oil marketers that the deregulation of the downstream oil sector should not be used as a justification for the importation of off-spec petroleum products or undermining of Nigeria's national interest. They made the statement yesterday in response to remarks by Robert Dickerman, the CEO of Pinnacle Oil and Gas, concerning the importation and blending of petroleum products, which the Pinnacle boss framed within the context of a deregulated commodity market. So, that's for context purposes. So Dangote is saying that the deregulation is not giving you space to now go and start blending and start importing. It is meant for you to, let's see what we can do, inward and see how we can grow local production. So we have a blending plant in Nigeria now.
Dangote alerted us to a blending plant also in Nigeria. He was also the one that called attention to the blending plant in Malta. And look, these guys have also set up a blending plant here in Nigeria. They blend people. Now, this is the issue here, Sandra. And I think that people have to understand that, look, the focus of this conversation is issue of national interest. And I've seen people who just come with all manner of emotions. Somebody was saying yesterday that, look, God is always supporting Dangote. I see I'm the staff of Dangote. But we are just being rational here. We are just being, this is about common sense. What does the regulation mean, Sandra? The market has been opened up, right?
Yes.
For every player to play in it. Beautiful.
Doing here.
No, it's not there. You are only allowed to behave like Pinnacle people. You are always talking like that. It's not do anyhow. What I'm saying is that, look,
I know what
people can now bring in their money. You understand? And let's have that competition within. But what we are saying is that, look, if we say we want to create a competitive environment, it should not be importation to fight local production. You understand? You cannot create a reasonable competitive environment by encouraging importation, in the fight against local production. You can only encourage importation, Sandra, in an open market economy, when you don't have the capacity to produce what you need locally, Sandra. The only reason why importation can be the alternative or the option in a free market economy is when you don't have the capacity to produce what you want locally, what you need locally. Sandra, as of today, despite the fact that our 4 national refineries are not working, do we have what it takes to produce what we need when it comes to petroleum products locally? Yes or no?
Of course we do.
So why importation? Because when it comes to national interest, and that's why if you look at that story, Sandra, I think in the later paragraph, everything was telling the American man,
the US,
what does America do to protect its own national interest and their own industries?
Impose
they just bring everybody. Yeah, did they just bring everybody to bring anything and everything into their country? Do you know what it takes to import anything into the United States? Especially what you're going to be bringing in, if the United States has the capacity to produce it locally, the tariffs and every condition they put to it, just to protect their own local industry. So what is wrong with us protecting their own refinery? If we deal it about energy security, the best way to ensure energy security is to ensure local competition. And how do you ensure local competition? Fix your 4 national refineries, encourage other modular refinery license holders to also go. In fact, the reason why nobody will go into trying to build refinery locally in Alexandria is what they are saying that Dangote is going through. So who are these guys who are all bent, Sandra, on importing petroleum products into the country? And whose interests are they protecting? That's number one. Number two, Sandra, who are you going to believe now if Dangote is telling you that these imported products are being blended? You know what is blending? Carry this one and make this one just to get the product out. So if Dangote is telling you, Sandra, that he is saying it authoritatively that these people are blending things that are of low quality, where is NNDPR in this conversation? Would you believe NNDPR, Sandra, when it comes to the quality of petroleum products you have in the country? The NNDPR that was alive, where they brought in adulterated products into the country without anybody being punished. The same NNDPR that had told us that the products of Dangote refinery was substandard. Only for Dangote to take people to his own lab and say, look, ask the people saying I have a low quality product to show us their own lab. I just showed you any lab, Sandra. If the DPRA does not have lab as a regulator, how then are we sure that what is being brought into the country is of the highest quality? And so in all of this, who is protecting the interest of Nigeria now? And who is killing the interest of Nigeria in this matter? I am not getting to the part of fair pricing for Dangote products. That's another conversation entirely. Looking at the price control agency that can deal with that. Look at Dangote and ask critical questions about his pricing. Okay, probably the finally now, if I'm not careful. So that's what we are saying. That's where even Dangote is this area, the body Dangote. It's just common sense. Nations all over the world find ways of protecting their own local industry. So that when the capacity is there to produce that thing locally.
Yeah. Well, this particular report is coming in because, of course, Pinnacle Oil and Gas Limited is located quite close to Dangote Refinery. And the fact is that Pinnacle Oil and Gas had approached Dangote and pleaded that Dangote extend its pipeline from their refinery to Pinnacle's tank farms for the purpose of blending Dangote's high-quality products with their own imported products and then selling it to Nigerians. So that they've just they're bringing in substandard products, so they will now get high quality products, mix it up together and sell it to Nigeria.
So I have substandard, so you just mix standard.
You just get mixed standard and you just be driving on the road and you just be seeing that your car is.
And whereas Dangote has that high standard that we can all begin to purchase locally
in the country.
So people are still doing. So where is the regulator in this matter now? The NWDPRA.
They've deregulated. They say they've deregulated.
So when you deregulate, you are not supposed to monitor standards. They can just bring in anything into the country. Every time you buy fuel, before you know your car is jacking, the mechanics are even confused about the problem of cars in Nigeria.
You know, Fuad, it's just like the body, all right? You have an O positive blood group, and you know they put A or B, they put B or so blood group inside of you. Your body would, react to it. So I think that's just basically what happens when you put these things, in cars. Dangote rejected this request of extension of pipeline to Pinnacle, saying that it would betray Nigerian people's trust, and also the health and safety of Nigerians cannot and should not be compromised for profit, because of course Dangote would have made money from that deal blending conversation. The Dangote also raised concerns about Pinnacle Oil's decision to lease its tank farms to a company that does not have any retail outlets in Nigeria. So they are questioning the strategic intent behind such action. What's the intent and purpose, particularly given that the farms is located just 500 meters from the Dangote refinery, and they have expressed that they are vigilant.
You know what they are doing now? If this story is true, is to bring in that bad one, and they know that you can get a good one, blend the two together, and then take it into the market. It's strategic. But again, where is the regulator in this conversation? Who are these guys? Well, look at it. Sandra, look at the market as well. Everybody now has what it takes to bring in refined petroleum products.
But why are they choosing to bring in? Why are they not choosing to produce?
Sandra, I've told you. If you check these so-called marketers, people have been arguing, Dangote's price is too high. And I said, look, before you say a product is too high, when it is produced locally, you have to look at all the indices that comes with production. The question we should first ask Dangote, if people are so interested in its pricing, is to say, look, how much is it getting crude to start with? People have said that
thank you very much. Thank you very much because I was going to say that is it possible? I don't think it is ever going to be possible for an imported product to be cheaper than a locally produced product.
It is possible, Sandra. I'll tell you why. Okay. I'll give you one example. Are you aware that if not the restrictions on importation of rice, all these police per horde rice, if you open the borders today for people to bring in that rice into the country, I can tell you that we'll buy for less than 50,000 naira per bag. It's not cheaper than the ones you are producing in Nigeria.
Yeah, but the cost of production in Nigeria, what?
God bless you. That's what we're going. Okay, so if imported rice could be cheaper because of the cost of production of producing rice in Nigeria. Why did we ban the importation of rice into the country, Sandra?
All right, people keep shouting, open the borders, the rice will be cheaper.
But why did we say no, we can't just open the borders? What interest were we protecting? What were we trying to do with stopping importation of rice into the country? Even when we don't have the complete capacity to produce what we have locally. If we want to protect local industry, and to promote growing what we eat in the country. And again, people have said that, look, we're also trying to take away pressure on forex. Because if you import, there will be so much pressure on forex because you need dollars to bring in those things into the country. So if we can do that for rice, even though there's no clear indication that we have the capacity to produce the rice we want to eat locally, why can't we do it for Dangote refinery? Go into the conversation of pricing. How much are we selling crude to eat? People have said, oh, they are selling crude to eat in Naira. But it is still in dollar.
At what cost?
Even when it is in Naira, it will still be at the rate of dollar in the international market.
Because
so by the time you have talked about cost of production, what about energy and every other thing that comes with producing things locally? So that may surprise Sandra that if you are going to import petroleum products into the country to be naturally cheaper. But the question is this, Sandra, that importation is it not killing our economy? True. What about the quality of the product that Dangote is also calling attention to? If you understand what I'm saying. Also, then the pressure on the dollar, those guys are bringing these things into the country, they are discussing forex. So at the end of the day, we are killing the Nigerian economy if we continue to encourage importation of refined petroleum products when we only have the capacity to produce it locally.
Thank you very much, Said Fuad. Dangote highlighting the fact that with Dickerman being an American, Dickerman should be well aware of how his own country, the United States of America, is protecting its own industries. Because you have the American steel companies, you have the Chinese-made cranes, where in a situation where you have America imposing 100% tariff on electric vehicles because there are Americans that produce electric vehicles, so it's going to be more difficult for you to bring it in rather than you just going to an American own one.
Sandra, I will not say this. I'm sure people are not listening. There are even people who are saying that some of our crude is still from Nigeria. It is those crude that get into those refineries abroad where they bring in the so-called cheaper petroleum product. That's what some people are saying. That all the crude they are stealing from Nigeria, where do you think they take it to? And so if people are saying that imported products are cheaper, it's most likely going to be from the crude they steal locally from Nigeria. If you go to what you steal, you can sell cheap. That's what some people are saying.
All right. Well, Dangote is saying that just because we are in a deregulated market does not give you license to blend off-spec products, or does not mean that you should now, trample on the economic prosperity of the country, or the country's economic prosperity by importation. All right. Further details of this particular report, it's on page 9 of Vanguard and on page 33 of the Punch newspaper. Deregulation, not licensed to blend off-spec products, Dangote tells Pinnacle Oil. And Dangote is coming from the context of the fact that Pinnacle Oil and Gas had approached Dangote Refinery for
allegedly, we don't know.
According to Dangote, that's why I said Dangote said that's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. So he said that Pinnacle Oil and Gas approached him to for access into his to have some sort of tank, pipeline rather, into his refinery to get high quality for them to blend substandard products. That's what that is saying. So further
what is NMDPR is saying about this allegation?
So I'm a little bit intrigued as regards the fact that with this allegation, is our energy security not threatened, according to Farouk Ahmed?
It's in shambles.
It's okay. Well, this is still Mainland 98.3 FM. You're still on to trends in the papers, and we are moving on now to the Guardian newspaper. The major headline on the front page of the Guardian: cash and carry, public engagements, debates fading as vote buying rules polls, and that's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And that story, highlighting quite a lot of things in our Nigerian election process. We have riders here that says party snub campaigns in favor of inducements. Strategy is working for us, party agent admits. Parties suspend mega 30 days instead of official 150 for campaign. We're supposed to have a 150 day for campaign, but parties have, they would rather just spend money within 30 days and just do what they need to do. COP blames trend on poverty as advocates are calling in for electronic voting. All right. So it's quite a lot of conversation here. Political engagement with the Nigerian electorate, once defined by rigorous campaigns and comprehensive manifestos detailing candidates' agendas, are witnessing a sharp decline. Investigation has revealed that the shift is largely due to political parties allocating increasing funds to vote buying rather than issue-based campaigns.
We saw it in Edo State, so
that's all.
And it will repeat itself in Ondo State.
It's already looking like so.
So it's just what it is.
Well, in Edo State, for example, the governor-elect, Monday Okwebolo, didn't grant media interviews. He didn't participate in any debate before the election. Former chairman of the APC and current senator representing Edo North, Adams Oshomole, said that's the nature of Okwebolo. Worked for him during his college election, adding that the televised interviews are exaggerated and that APC cannot compel its candidates to grant media chats. All right.
Sandra, from 1999 till date, all the presidents that have ruled the country, did they grant any interview?
No.
Or debate?
They didn't.
They didn't even do anything.
I think it's from there.
The ones that attend debate lose the election.
That's where I think it's from there that we even know who will win that. This one did not attend debate. Okay, so let's just move on. Yeah.
So if you attend debate, you are losing. And why must you attend debate? When people don't attend debate, win elections. If you attend debate from now till tomorrow, you know them money, you are deceiving yourself. We monetize our election, and with the level of poverty in the country, the man with the deepest pocket wins the election. It's as simple as that.
Well, the vote buying trend, which significantly undermines the credibility of elections, has similarly affected elections for local council and even councillor positions across the country. So it's not just, the presidential, the gubernatorial, or the, senatorial or reps. It's everywhere. All right. Further details of this particular story on page 6, and they're attributing this to poverty. People would rather just collect 40,000 naira now than wait for a 4-year administration of change. Still on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, we also have here rising energy demand, vandalism affecting grid stability, say experts. And that's on page 3 of the Guardian.
Who is vandalizing the grid?
People.
Internal or external? Vandals.
People is people. Human beings. That's all.
We have to now find a way to deal with that. We have to stop at least. All
right. Well, we also have here on the front page of the Guardian, minors freed on humanitarian conditions, says federal government as NAPS offers scholarship, and that's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper.
You feel that for everything we like to show, so that you can stand on their necks and out to them. And the vice president was addressing them, and then the fact that the vice president was even telling them that we lost this amount of money, but we are just releasing you people, like go and say no more. Fine.
that's 300 billion.
In true conscience, in true conscience, would the vice president say that he doesn't know why those children were in the streets in the first place? If the children were well fed, well educated, and enjoying the goodies of the land, would they be in the street carrying a flag they don't know about? As long as you know that I have a Brazilian flag in the car.
So if you see any car with Brazilian flag in it, just know that's Said Fuad, and do what you may with that information.
So they can arrest you for what? For carrying a Brazilian flag?
For decorating your car with a Brazilian flag. You're not patriotic, Fuad. That's very bad. All right, well, that's a wrap for today on Trends in the Papers. We have totally run out of time. The major headline on the front page of Vanguard reads, #End Bad Governance, Why We Released Minors. That's coming from the federal government. And it's on page 5, drops case against 37 minors, 82 others as court strikes out the charges. Minors facing trial released on compassionate grounds, says Shettima. Minors will be reintegrated, says Governor Yusuf. Falana threatens to sue federal government if minors are not given education. Released minors need mental health support, says expert. And that's on page 5 of Vanguard newspaper. We also have here, why forfeited illicit arms pose security threats. And that's coming from the NSA, National Security Advisor. And that's on page 31 of Vanguard newspaper. Protesters storm National Assembly over hardship. And that's on page 6. And we also have here, Tinubu decorates acting chief of army staff Oluyede with new rank. That's on page 8. Ondo Yuba Ajayi floor Aiyedatiwa in debate. PDP campaign council says or claims. And that's on page 35. And that's a wrap for this morning on Trends in the Papers. Stay with us, stick with us. It is still Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll be back in a bit after this commercial break for Mainland Focus, where you get to be a part of the conversation.